Good afternoon. This is Chambell at the Digital Thread Hub in Michigan. I wanted to take a brief opportunity today to read out on my experience with regards to attending GLM for Energy Connections. It was hosted in Paris, France this year, and I had the opportunity to pitch out a series of storyboards pursuant of Energy Connections' interests in augmented reality. Of those storyboards, the first one we had was the basic demonstration and education of the capability to consume existing content as it stands today. That was demonstrated on stage by bringing up the Microsoft Edge browser and being able to navigate to different pieces of content, including predicts, as well as basic information that we can consume on a regular basis for monitoring and health awareness of our infrastructure. The second part of that same storyboard was the ability to appreciate content and efficiencies achieved through our productivity suites, in this case Outlook and Exchange, and being able to consume that content, make a selection, and to appreciate that information differently. We also have the one that everybody knows, which is the ability to navigate mail and being able to drag and drop that content, communicate and collaborate with our partners differently and more effectively. And the last one that we had on stage was the ability to appreciate our geographic information differently at scale in the true sense of what we're trying to achieve in these augmented reality experiences. For the audience that was there was relevancy to being able to create your own personal war room, your own area and organization of space in a three-dimensional capacity. Again, I'm browsing Microsoft's Maps at this point, but it is the ability to look at our information differently, to be able to move, and to walk towards things and approach them, and then ultimately navigate with them through voice, gesture, and gaze controls as they are relevant to HoloLens. The next part of the demonstration to the audience at GLM was the ability to appreciate our existing assets differently. We demonstrated the ability to walk around untethered without being required to be seated, tethered, or connected to an external device. We made the very high-level definition of virtual reality versus augmented reality, and in an oversimplified way, thinking about VR as a closed, all-digital experience, usually seated, usually tethered, and in this instance with augmented reality, being able to see the space around you, and in this way, the room that I'm in today, the tables, the chairs, the walls, and being able to enrich that environment with digital assets. We then demonstrated the ability to perform voice controls on an existing holographic asset. Hide case, bigger, smaller, bigger, explode. So in this instance, as we've shown in previous demonstrations, the ability to take a GE transformer and start to appreciate it at the nuts and bolts level. A way in which we can visualize our assets in a very different way when we think about selling our products and services as well as data to customers. The next thing we demonstrated was the ability to identify a problem and take action. Highlight problem. And in this case, we've taken said holographic asset, we've broken it into pieces, and now we're able to observe the artifact that is in jeopardy or an alarm within the device. At this point, we can initiate a Skype call, request help and support, get a more knowledgeable resource on the line. We could order something, we could open a ticket, or we can simply take action as desired. It's our ability to appreciate these assets differently that will make us more disruptive and more relevant in the environment that we're in today. And the last and final example that we provided in a storyboard capacity to the audience at GLM was the ability to appreciate something that would be very relevant to them. In this case, we've taken content based on a collaboration of GE Digital and GE Energy and Connection employees with specificity to grid, the ability to model and adapt this content to the presentation. I have in front of me a CAD drawing that we've used in partnership with Autodesk to decimate it, to simplify the number of objects and the number of polys represented, but we want to give them the full ability, inclusive of leadership, employees and contractors, as well as external customers, the ability to actually gaze at this information and appreciate what GE is able to do for our customers differently. If I linger here for a moment, you can see that the cursor is mapping to the collider, and if I get even closer, what we want to take a look at is our ability to observe the fidelity of the assets that are inside. We do truly have the ability to look at our generators and associated infrastructure in a very different way, in different capacity. I do want to highlight the area that you see in that darker shade of, actually it's a blue, is the safe working zone. So we want to make the connection to not only being able to sell these products and services differently, but to think about how can we narrate or tell our story differently. The last piece of this particular demonstration was the ability for the audience to observe the effects of physics within this environment, and Unity, the 3D world engine that we're operating in, presents us with a very interesting opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and click this ball, and it's going to strike that cube, so a collider is intersected with, and then we have a very nice collection of information that is one of the pieces or parts in the model. We get a much more up close and personal view, and if we want to, we're going to start to have the ability to walk through these environments and to appreciate them at a level we've never been able to do, both on site as well as remotely going forward. Take one more look down the walkway here and come on out. GLM this year was a very exciting opportunity for myself, and I know a lot of people appreciated getting educated on the information. AR is a very big space. There's lots of opportunity here, and all we asked the audience to do was to consider this capability pursuant of GE's interests. Thanks for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this recording. There will be more to come. Thanks so much. Bye.